It's just water. That's what most people think when they see it on a map. A stretch of ocean between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. But for some reason, ships vanish there, planes disappear, radios go silent, and time itself seems to unravel. Welcome to the Bermuda Triangle. Now here's what nobody tells you. This place doesn't scream danger. There are no flashing lights or ominous clouds. It looks like any other part of the Atlantic. Calm, blue, beautiful. But underneath that beauty lies a question that's haunted sailors, pilots, scientists, and philosophers for decades. How can something so ordinary cause so many extraordinary disappearances? Take Flight 19, for example. 5 torpedo bombers left Florida on a routine training run in 1945. The pilots were experienced. The weather was fine. But the last thing anyone heard was this: "We can't find the West. Everything looks wrong." And then, nothing. A rescue plane was sent to find them. That one vanished too. That wasn't the only case. Over the years, dozens of ships and planes have vanished. With no wreckage, no black boxes, no goodbyes. Is it bad luck, a patch of rough weather, or something else? Here's where it gets weirder. People have reported lost time inside the triangle. Hours disappearing, compasses spinning, radios jamming, even modern navigation systems failing for no apparent reason. And sure, skeptics will say there's a logical explanation for everything, but that's not why the Bermuda Triangle keeps pulling us in. It's not just a mystery of the sea, it's a mirror, a reflection of our deepest questions, our need to explain the unexplainable. So what's really hiding in the Bermuda Triangle? A natural phenomenon, a portal, or just ourselves? Long before it was called the Bermuda Triangle, sailors whispered of a cursed stretch of sea. Even Christopher Columbus, during his first voyage to the New World, recorded strange lights in the sky and erratic compass readings near that region. He didn't understand what he saw. He just knew something was off. But it wasn't until the 20th century that the legend took form. And it all started with one chilling event: Flight 19. On December 5, 1945, 5 U.S. Navy Avenger torpedo bombers took off from Fort Lauderdale for a routine training mission. There were 14 men on board. The mission should have taken just a few hours, but halfway through something went wrong. The lead pilot's voice crackled over the radio. He sounded confused, disoriented. "Everything looks strange. We can't find land. Even the ocean doesn't look right." And then, radio silence. An enormous search effort followed, but no trace of Flight 19 was ever found. No wreckage, no survivors, no explanation. And here's the twist. The rescue plane sent to find them, a massive PBM Mariner with 13 crew members, also vanished. Completely gone. That was the moment the world took notice. Newspapers ran the story. Speculations exploded. Some blamed magnetic anomalies, others claimed it was an alien abduction. But one thing was clear: this wasn't an isolated case. Digging into history, more stories surfaced. The USS Cyclops, a 542-foot-long Navy ship carrying over 300 men and 10,000 tons of ore, vanished in 1918. No distress signal, no debris, just a ghost ship that never arrived. And then there was the SS Marine Sulphur Queen, a tanker carrying molten sulfur and 39 crew members, disappeared in 1963. No trace, not even an oil slick. By the 1970s, the name Bermuda Triangle had become global, thanks to author Vincent Gaddis, who coined the term and published the idea that this triangle was swallowing people whole. The story snowballed. Books, documentaries, conspiracy theories, even pop culture jumped in, turning the Bermuda Triangle into a modern myth, a place where the laws of nature might not apply. But myths don't spread without reason. They spread because people feel something real underneath them, a fear, a truth, or maybe a question we're too afraid to answer because maybe we don't really want the truth. So surely science has cracked this open by now, right? Well, kind of, but not really. Over the years, scientists and skeptics have offered several theories to explain what's happening inside the Bermuda Triangle. Some sound logical, some stretch the boundaries of reason, but none of them seem to fully explain everything. Let's start with magnetic anomalies. Earth has two types of magnetic poles, true north and magnetic north. In some rare areas of the world, compasses can behave strangely due to fluctuations in the Earth's magnetic field. The Bermuda Triangle was once believed to be one of those places. That would explain why compasses spin or give false readings, right? But here's the issue. Modern geologists have found no consistent evidence of abnormal magnetic activity in that region. Nothing that can account for entire ships and planes just disappearing without a trace. Next up, methane gas eruptions. Yeah, this one's weird but kind of fascinating. It turns out there are large deposits of methane hydrate frozen beneath the sea floor. If they suddenly erupt, the gas could reduce the water's density, causing a ship to literally sink without warning, like in seconds. But again, cool theory, no real proof, and it wouldn't explain the missing planes. Then there's rogue waves. Freakish, towering waves that can rise as high as 100 feet, smashing anything in their path. These do happen in the Atlantic, especially during storms. But they don't make planes vanish from radar or erase entire fleets with no wreckage left behind. Even more baffling, the Bermuda Triangle has no more accidents than any other heavily traveled stretch of ocean. In fact, statistically, it's pretty average. So what gives? If the science doesn't add up, why do the stories feel so real? Maybe it's because they are, not real in the sense of physics or navigation, but real in the way they live in our minds, the way they play on our fears of control, of being lost, of being forgotten. The Bermuda Triangle might not defy science, but it definitely defies certainty. And that's where things start to get philosophical. Here's a thought. What if the Bermuda Triangle isn't just a mystery we're trying to solve, but a mystery we need? Think about it. In a world obsessed with control, GPS in every pocket, satellites watching every inch of the Earth, the idea that something can't be explained, it terrifies us and excites us. The Bermuda Triangle might just be a massive stretch of ocean with a few tragic accidents, but in our minds, it's become something else entirely, a symbol of what we don't understand. It's a reminder that no matter how advanced we become, there are still corners of reality that resist being mapped, labeled, and explained. Philosophers would say it's a collective myth, not in the sense that it's fake, but that it taps into something deeper than facts. A story we tell ourselves to express a truth we can't fully articulate. That maybe the world is bigger, weirder, and more fragile than we admit. And maybe that's the point. Because let's be honest, if science gave us an airtight explanation tomorrow, would that make the mystery less interesting, or would it kill something inside us? The part that believes in wonder, in possibility, in things that don't fit neatly in a box. The Bermuda Triangle isn't just a physical location, it's a symbol of fear, of freedom, of how little we truly know, and that symbolism might be more powerful than any fact we could ever discover. Here's where things start to mess with your head, because it's not just about vanishing planes or sinking ships. Some people who survive strange experiences in the Bermuda Triangle report something even creepier, missing time. They say hours pass like minutes, or minutes feel like hours. Instruments malfunction, clocks stop ticking, and when they emerge, they can't explain where the time went. One pilot swore he flew into a strange cloud formation, and when he came out, he was 100 miles off course, but had barely used any fuel. According to him, the flight took 30 minutes less than it should have. Another crew claimed to have seen a tunnel in the sky, a swirling vortex, and emerged confused, as if they'd skipped part of reality. Now, is that just poor memory, mechanical failure, imagination? Maybe. But it raises a haunting question. Can the human mind distort time when faced with fear or the unknown? Philosophers have long debated what time really is. Is it an objective ticking clock, or just our way of organizing the chaos of experience? And if our perception of time can be warped by emotion, by trauma, by something we don't understand, then how can we trust it at all? The Bermuda Triangle might not be bending time physically, but it may be exposing the fragility of our consciousness, the way fear, stress, and confusion can twist reality into something unrecognizable. It's like standing at the edge of a dream, where logic breaks down and you're left only with a feeling, a chill, a question. Where was I, really? Okay, brace yourself, because not every explanation for the Bermuda Triangle is grounded in science or psychology. Some theories go way off the map. Let's start with the classic: aliens. Yes, some believe the triangle is a hotspot for extraterrestrial activity, that UFOs snatch ships and planes mid-flight for research or experimentation. The idea isn't new. Ever since Flight 19 vanished, people started whispering about lights in the sky, unnatural silence, and technology failing at the exact same time. But why the Bermuda Triangle? Well, some theorists say it's a beacon, a fixed point in space that aligns with alien technology. Others believe there's a portal hidden beneath the sea, a wormhole, a doorway to another dimension. Still with me? Because there's more. Some claim there are underwater pyramids, ancient glowing structures that pulse with strange energy. They say these were built by an advanced civilization lost to time, like Atlantis, and now power strange anomalies through the ocean. Then there's the Atlantean crystal theory, where leftover super tech from Atlantis is buried deep in the sea, interfering with electronics, pulling ships under, and playing with time itself. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the twist. Even these outlandish theories say something about us, about our need for the unexplained. When faced with gaps in knowledge, we don't just shrug, we imagine. We build stories, big ones, mysterious ones, sometimes ridiculous ones, because deep down we might want the Bermuda Triangle to stay mysterious, to remain that one part of the world where anything feels possible, where monsters still lurk and portals still hum beneath the waves, not because it's true, but because we want it to be. While we're busy chasing tales of time warps and alien pyramids, we often miss the real danger that's been staring us in the face all along. Ourselves. The ocean, any ocean, is one of the most hostile environments on the planet. Storms appear without warning, visibility drops to zero, waves rise stories high, currents shift suddenly, and we, fragile creatures with buttons and dials, think we can tame it. Many of the Bermuda Triangle's tragedies can be traced to something painfully human: navigation errors, mechanical failures, poor communication, and overconfidence. Flight 19, the lead pilot was reportedly disoriented, possibly suffering from vertigo. The rescue plane that vanished? It was a model nicknamed the Flying Gas Tank, prone to mid-air explosions. The USS Cyclops. It was overloaded and had engine problems before it even left port. But instead of examining those hard truths, we prefer the mystery, because the mystery is safer. It's easier to believe in a sea monster than admit that one bad decision, one missed signal, one exhausted captain can doom a crew to silence. It's easier to blame a mythical triangle than to accept that we're not in control. And that might be the scariest truth of all, that the world doesn't need the supernatural to be dangerous. It already is. So, what is the Bermuda Triangle? A graveyard of ships? A natural anomaly? A hoax? Maybe, but maybe it's something more abstract. A canvas we've projected our deepest fears and wildest hopes onto. A place where logic and legend blur just enough to keep us wondering. Because the Bermuda Triangle isn't just a spot on the map. It's a question, a reminder that even in the age of satellites and AI, there are still places we can't explain, and maybe don't want to. It symbolizes that tug of war inside every human, the desire to understand, and the thrill of the unknown. It dares us to admit that we need mystery, that without it the world feels flat, predictable, tamed, and in a strange way, maybe the Bermuda Triangle is one of the last magical places we have left, not because of what it is, but because of what it represents. A crack in reality, a riddle no one solved, a whisper from the sea saying, "You don't know everything, and maybe you never will." And maybe that's the point.